Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Izine if this is your first time of seeing me here, and on this channel I show you how I make my clothes. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to draft a pants pattern. So if you've been struggling and you don't know how to do this perfectly, you've come to the right place. I'm going to be showing you how to do it from start to finish. If you do like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. If you have any questions as regards the video or any other questions, you can leave those in the comment section. When I tell you to ask questions, I don't only tell you to ask questions to regards the video you are watching. If you have any questions concerning any sewing related issues that you might be having or concerns, you can always leave those in the comment section and I would be of help to you. I'm also going to be leaving my Instagram handle here so that in case you have things that you want to send pictures, videos, just to further expound on your issue, that would be fine. And I say this because as someone who learned how to sew by myself, it was quite tedious and very difficult. There were some things that I had to feel like 1,000 times before getting it correctly, and I just wish I could just like send someone a message to just help me through. So if you're part of my community and you have any sort of these issues, I would love to be of help to you. So please do any way that I can help you. I would help you. If I can't help you, I can most definitely link you to a resource that would be of help to you. So please, if you have any questions, concerns, things that are bothering you and are sewing related, you can always send them to me. And with that being said, let's get into the tutorial for today. Before we get into the tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to take the measurements that we're going to need to draft the pattern. Before taking the measurements, you're going to ensure that you're wearing a cloth that is close fitting to your body so that you can take accurate measurements. We're also going to be making use of a rope, so you can use, I have here an elastic, but you can use a rope, a shoelace. We're going to use this to indicate where the waist of our pants would start. The first measurement we're going to take is your waist. And you're going to put the tape around where you place your rope and measure it. The next is the hip measurement, and you're going to put your tape around your hips and measure it. You want to ensure that your tape is straight while you're doing this. And the next measurement is your waist to your knee. And so you're going to place the tape at your waist and measure it to the middle of your knee. The next measurement is your outseam, and you're going to measure from your waist to your ankle, or where you'd want the pants to stop. And next is the inseam. You're going to measure from your crotch area to your ankle, or to where your pant is supposed to stop. To measure your crotch depth, you're going to sit on a flat surface, preferably a chair like this. You're going to ensure that you're sitting down upright on the chair, and then you're going to measure from your waist to the top of the chair. For the crotch length, you're going to place your tape at the top of your waist like this, and then take it all the way around your crotch to your back waist. For the bottom of the pants, we're not going to be measuring around our ankle, we're going to be measuring around our heel, and this is called the instep. So just put your tape around it like so and measure it. Now these are the measurements that I'm going to be using, and I made some adjustments to my vertical measurement so that it can fit into one pattern paper. So that's the only adjustment I'm going to make. I'm going to use my horizontal measurement as it is. I'm going to be drafting the front and the back first on the same paper. And so from the edge of the paper, I'm going to come down a little at about 4 inches and then draw in my waistline, and you would see why as we go on in the pattern making. Now I'm going to draw my center line, so I'm going to square a line downwards from the waistline at the middle of my paper. And this is just me indicating that this is my waistline. And for my waistline, I'm going to measure and mark my crotch depth measurement, which for the sake of this tutorial, I am using a 7.5 inches. And then we're going to square that line. And from the waist, I'm also going to measure and mark my waist to knee measurement, which for me is 17.25 inches, and we're going to square that as well. Now I'm going to measure and mark the full length of the pants, which for me is 30 inches. I'm going to measure, mark and square that as well. Now you're going to divide your hip measurement by 8 and add half an inch for ease, and we're going to put that on either side on the crotch line. And so for me it's 33 divided by 8 plus half an inch is, which is 4.625 inches. Then we're going to divide one side by 4 and add half an inch to it. For me it's 4.625 divided by 4 plus half an inch, which is 1.65. So you're going to measure and mark what you get from the initial point we made, and then you're going to square a line from that point to the waistline. Now on this line you're going to measure and mark the 1.65 again, and then we'll divide this section into 2 and divide this section into 2 also. Then connect this point to this point and this point to this point. This will give us an outline to draw the front crotch curve. On the waistline, you're going to measure and mark a quarter of your waist measurement plus 1 inch for the dart. And for me, a quarter of my waist measurement is 6.25 plus 1 inch is 7.25. So I'm going to mark that. Now on the center line, I'm going to mark half an inch on both sides of the center line and then draw in a 4-inch dart. For the hem of the pants, you're going to divide your instep measurement by 2 and subtract 1 inch from one half and add 1 inch to the other half. So for me, it's 11 divided by 2, which is 5.5. I'm going to subtract 1 inch from one half to give me 4.5 for the top, for the front pants, and I'll add 1 inch to the other 5.5 to give me 6.5 for the back pants. And so for the front leg now, I'm going to measure and mark 2.25 inches on either side of the center line. I hope this makes sense to you. And the next thing we're going to do is to connect the inseam line, which is the crotch, to the hemline. So just draw a straight line connecting the 2 points together. We're also going to do the same thing for the outer seam line. Then we're going to extend this line upwards to halfway of the crotch depth, and then from the waist we're going to draw a line to meet it where it stops. Then you're going to use your curve to blend out the sharp points. Using my free hand, I'm going to draw a curve from the outline we made earlier just to form the front crotch curve. Now that's it for the front leg. We're going to be drafting the back leg next. So for the back leg, on the waistline, we're going to measure and mark 1/20th of your waist measurement plus 3/4 of an inch. And so for me, 1/20th of my waist is 1.25 plus 3/4 of an inch, which is 2 inches. So I'm going to mark that. And from that point, I will draw a line to the front crotch like so. And I'm going to extend that line past the waistline. Now on this extension, I'm going to measure and mark 1/20th of my waist, which is still 1.25 inches for me. Also 1 inch and a quarter. Now I'm going to put in the back waist, which is 1/4 of your waist measurement plus 1 inch for the dart, and for me that's 7.25 inches. Now I'm going to draw that 7.25 inches. Starting from this point, I'm going to pivot my ruler to the waistline and then draw it. To draw the dart, I'm going to find the midpoint and square a line of 5.5 inches downwards from the waistline, and then I'm going to mark half inch on either side of this line and then draw in the dart. On the crotch line, we're going to calculate 1/20th of our hip measurement and mark it on both sides. So for me, 1/20th of my hip measurement is 1.65. And on the front crotch, I'm going to add an extra 1 inch, and you're also going to add that extra 1 inch as well. Now on the knee, I'm going to measure and mark 1 inch on both sides, and I'm going to do that on the hem as well. Now once you're done adding this 1 inch on the hem, you're going to, by the time you measure it, you're going to notice that your instep measurement would be correct. Now we're going to connect the points. So from the hem to the knee, from the knee to the crotch, and just like the front, I'm going to extend the line halfway and then draw another line from the waist to connect it, and then I'll go in with my curve to smooth out the sharp edge. From the inseam line, I'm going to connect the hem to the knee, and then from the knee to the 1/20th mark that we made. Then we're going to divide this line into 3, and you're going to make a mark on the last third. Then you're going to measure the crotch to the knee for the front leg, and we're going to put that measurement for the back as well. So I'm going to place that measurement from the knee, and then when you get to this third point that we made here, you're going to pivot your ruler towards the extra mark that we made on the crotch line, and then you're going to draw in your line. This would form the inseam for the back leg. And don't worry if your line doesn't get up to the crotch line. It's not supposed to get to that, so yeah, it's supposed to be about half an inch away from the crotch line. Then we're going to complete the crotch curve for the back like so. And now on the waistline, I'm going to mark 1/4 inch upward, and then use my curve to draw a little curve into the waistline like this. So this right here is the outline for the front leg, and this is the pattern for the back leg. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to use my tracing wheel to trace this out on a different piece of paper. So I'm going to put a new paper underneath this one and trace out the front and the back separately. Now I'm done tracing both of them out, and the next thing I'm going to do is to add my seam allowance to my pattern. So I'm going to add a half an inch seam allowance to my waistline, a half inch to my crotch curve, and a 3/4 inch to the out seam and the inseam. While I'll add a 1 inch seam allowance to my hem. And after I'm done with the front, I'm going to do the same thing for the back leg. Now to cut this out, I'm going to be folding over the pattern at the hemline like so before cutting it out. And because we folded it over, you would see that the hem allowance won't be straight, and we do it this way so that when you fold over the hem, it would align well with your side seam. This is the back leg all cut out, and this is the front leg. Now once you're done with your pattern, you can sew this together using a muslin fabric or some scrap fabric that you have. Tie it on and then make any adjustments if you find that there is a need for any. And when you're going to be sewing this together, you're going to make notches at the crotch line, the knee line, and the hemline, just as guides to help you when you're joining it. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. You can check out my video on how to sew a fly zipper next, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.